Hello, 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 and we are live. It's nice to have you all here joining us in this another amazing Hosting Your Academy webinar. And today we have a very interesting topic and a very interesting guest from Surfer. If you are familiar with SEO, you probably have heard about Surfer tools. So let us in the comments too. And our guest, he is a co-founder of Surfer. His name is Michal Suski. He is a digital marketeer with a love for SEO. He has trained a lot of SEOs, copywriters, and basically digital marketeers. He's an expert in his field, and we are very glad to have you here. Hello, Michal. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate the opportunity to show something. Really, that's something I really love to do. Just give back to the community when I have something. Just share with everyone.
That's great to hear. I'm very excited to hear what you have prepared for us. And before we begin, I actually would like to ask a question, our audience a question. What type of websites do you have? Do you run? Is it a blog, a business website, e-commerce website? Maybe you're working for a company, and you are doing SEO and you want to learn more about SEO. Let us in the comments because, we like to know our audience better. And actually, before we begin, before Michal starts his presentation, I would like to tell you that during the whole presentation, during the whole webinar itself, you can ask questions because this is your perfect moment, because we have Michal, he's a SEO expert. And if you have any questions related to SEO or something is unclear to you, this is your perfect moment. Don't hesitate because, like I said, this is your perfect moment to get answers from SEO expert. And at the end of this webinar, we're going to have a Q&A session. So Michal, he will answer all of your questions. All right, so Michal, I believe we can start. Let us know what you have prepared for us.
Sure. Fingers crossed for many questions. So hopefully I can answer you. And today I want to focus on making the most of your time. This is the 80-20 rule in general. This is all about making the best positive ROI you can have while spending 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, or 5 months doing SEO. And this is sort of like, well, it is a presentation. Yeah, I got slides, but I also have a practice to do with you. So we will go through the process. We will try to find these low hanging fruits. We'll try to find these actions, these activities you can perform while doing SEO to uh, be in line with the 80-20 rule. But before we dive in, let me check if it works. Boom. Yes, it works. Before we dive in, this is me. I was already introduced, so nothing special here. Just the agenda. This is something we are all interested in. So we will talk a little bit about the Pareto rule in general. We will try to uh, go through the Pareto rule in SEO activities. And then number three, this is something the most interesting for you, but the introduction is also needed. So the number three is about how to actually do these 80-20 activities to help you increase the traffic even today. So what is Pareto rule? Well, it has so many applications that I will try to go as um, high level as possible. So in general, 80% of outputs is caused by 20% of inputs. And that's all you have to know. 80% of effects of SEO will be caused by 20% of bugs, issues, articles you create, links you build, and so on and so forth. And today we'll be focusing on finding these. So we are not spending time in places where you are in the wrong ratio in the other percentage. So you always want to do the little things that represent most of the results. And this is the Pareto in general. And to show you a little bit about it, like how we can associate it with real life, 80% of money comes from 20% of society. in general in terms of taxes. Then we've got the project management. This is something I'm really familiar with, and I can tell you it's true that 80% of these groundbreaking features, these big game changers of products, applications, services, come from 20% of the tasks. So you have like hundreds of bugs, you have hundreds of feature requests, but these game changers come from very little amount, from this little 20%. And the same is about SEO. I will show you a little bit later. So business, again, 80% of cash come from 20% clients, 20% products, like best sellers, 20% best article reviews where you have the greatest commission and it makes you money. Uh, so in business, the Pareto rule also is applied. So not only SEO, obviously, but the taxes, the business, the project management, what else? It can be also applied to programming, to development process of products and websites. So 80% of downtimes, so it doesn't always have to be positive outcome, right? 80% of downtimes will come from 20% of bugs. So like at Surfer, we have like this big backlog of things to improve, but only a few out of that long list will be these critical to architecture issues that are capable to create a downtime. So not every bug is should be fixed. And again, not every bug with SEO should be fixed. Not every meta title should be optimized. Not every article should be analyzed in terms of semantics. Not every structured data, or like not every link has to be built, because the results are somewhere else, right? But Pareto in SEO, where is Pareto in SEO? And I will show you like a few examples that will open your eyes on existence of the Pareto in SEO. First, the audit. We all know the audits, like technical audit, like huge overhaul of a website that contains 100 pages. One agency will create audit for 100 pages. The other will, oh, these audits are getting longer and longer, we will create 120 pages. The other agency will try to exceed and will try to create even longer audit. But where is the value, where is the importance of issues in this audit, in this report? It will be placed on 20% or less pages. There will be like 5, 10, maybe 20 critical issues to the page's organic traffic growth found in the audit, but the audit will list like literally everything that has just a little bit of shade of, maybe a little bit of negative effect on SEO, but there's no point in fixing everything. There's only point in fixing things that drag you down, that hold you back in growth. And to summarize the Pareto in audit, most of the issues will be there on really few pages. The rest is just stuffing the audit, because that's the trend. Again, the link building. You will build, I don't know, 10 links. You build 10 links. But in most cases, 80% of the link juice, 80% of impact will be only caused by two links. The other will be, some of them will be not indexed, some of them will be not crawled, some of them will have their domain authority faked, and so on and so forth. And only a few, only a small portion of the links you build will actually make an impact on your authority, on your well, performance in search. The traffic, this is really straightforward. We all know it. 80% people visit only 20% URLs. You have 100 blog posts, but 10, maybe 20 will be performing well in search. They will be like this, hitting the nail in the head, like really great keyword research and great answer to users question, and boom, you got the best matching intent, and these few articles will outperform all the rest of the articles. Again, community. We are in marketing community, in SEO community, in hosting community, creating websites and so on. But how many members of the community will actually bring value to the community? Take a look at this. 80% of news will come from 20% of people. Maybe the ratio will be even more dramatic. It will be maybe 95% news come from 5% people, but the trend is really the same. So the majority, it's not even about 80-20, it's about majority of outputs are caused by minority of inputs, and this is like a really common thing. Another one, and this is the cherry on the top, clients. I've been doing a lot of client SEO. That's my biggest experience in this area. It's clients SEO, and what happens there? 80% of problems are caused by 20% of clients. So you all know this one person who calls you, who mails you every day, every week, always have troubles, always have something to say while the job is done. And you have to answer the phone, you have to be nice, you answer the email, you spend time on messaging, not on doing your SEO job. So the Pareto rule and the problems with clients is again applicable here. But it's not only about SEO, it's not about only about task, project management, business. It can be applied everywhere. And I believe that after the webinar, you will just walk the street and you will think, does the Pareto rule applies here? Does it apply there? I just want you to think about it because you will spot it really everywhere. But let's move on to practice. Let's move on because, well, the introduction should be short. So let's move on to the practice, and let's try to apply the 80-20 to SEO processes. Well, there was this headline of this presentation, and I really want to go back there because this is really important. Uh, it's here. Make the most of your time. Make the most of your time. This will be the mantra of today's webinar. With these tasks that we will perform, I will perform with you using Google Search Console, spreadsheets, and the other stuff. Um, these are like the best time spent you can. All right. What is it about? What is all about? Like 80-20, to work very little time and get almost the same results. Obviously, if you will work less, like 20% of the time you work right now, you can't expect the same results. But maybe if you will work 20% of the time, you will get almost as many positive results with the SEO. And if you know where is the impact of your work, you will be able to get closer. Obviously, it won't be that easy. Okay, tomorrow I work 20%, I get 80% of the results. No, it won't work this way. But if you will have it in mind that you are going there, you are trying uh, to 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 uh, to shift your focus to actually working less and doing almost the same, you will get there sooner than later. So who is it for? Obviously is not for everyone, and you have to have something, you have to have some assets, because if the website is new, you won't have any low hanging fruits. You have to do this honest work with proper setup, with keyword research, with actually writing the content, and then you can start finding some low hanging fruit. So who is it for? Indexed domains with at least some history. It can be like 3 to 6 months old and it will be enough. Right? What's next? At least a little bit of traffic, uh, because we will be using Google Search Console today. And well, if Google Search Console is empty, there's nothing really for you in there. So there won't be any low hanging fruits that can move the needle for your website really quickly. And well, I'm not happy, but it is how it is. The stronger you are, the more 80-20 rule is there for you. And yeah, the strong will be stronger. So that's the kind of natural law. You can spot it in nature as well. So well, the stronger you are, the more you can do with 80/20. So rules of Pareto in SEO, what are they? Minimum effort. Do as little as you can to spot the result. And the result has to have the maximum impact. So if you have 10 articles to optimize, find the one that is the most promising and optimize only it. And maybe it will be enough to get most of the results. That's the thinking. I don't want you to like start doing these tasks. I want you to start to shift your thinking from like doing everything you can and spending long hours and in a result not knowing what worked, but to work smart, to know where's the impact. If you know where's the impact, you can focus only on stuff that makes the impact. All right. And the short turnover. This is also important because when you land a new client, you want the short turnover of your activities to build trust, to establish the relationship. And there is no better way to establish relationship with a new client than by providing some positive results. Okay, so how to achieve it? We are almost done with the slides, really, and we will dive into the Google Search Console. First, you have to analyze the assets. So you have to know what you have. How many pages? How do they perform? Do they generate traffic or at least visibility impressions? Do they rank for keywords? Then we will have three easy tasks. These three easy tasks can be performed really quickly and they will move the needle for the pages we will filter out after the assets analysis. And then we will try to prioritize these three easy tasks because maybe we don't have to do three, maybe one will be enough. So we are not overworking ourselves and we can spend time on A, more clients to make more money, education to become smarter, or, and this is the thing that I recommend doing, taking a break, rest a little, because if you are really well rested, if you sleep well, if you have time for your family, you will be much better at work too. So that's my number one rule, how to spend that extra time. Rest. All right. So taking on new project, boom, evaluate if the 80/20 rule is there for you. So imagine you take a new client and you see the website and you think like, okay, I think I can help them because they have like issues I already see. They will be easy to fix, and I will be able to show my skills versus the client who is, let's say, not sharing the Google Search Console access, so you don't know the performance. The client who is not eager to implement changes, the client who will be trying to evaluate you every day and require reports every week. So if you will be able to check to like have in mind that okay, this client has the 80/20, this client doesn't because it's a like very new website, for example, I won't be able to help them like real quick. It's much better to take the client that has the 80/20 potential inside, so you'll be able to perform, to show off, and really establish a strong relationship built on a foundation that is strong, because if you provide the results you get the strongest foundation in SEO. All right, 4 steps, getting into the meat, really. And we still have plenty of time, so I believe there will be a lot of time for questions and a lot of time for me fiddling with the data in Google Search Console. All right, 4 steps. First step is analyze potential. And right now we'll move to the Google Search Console. And what we are going to do, I will use surferseo.com Google Search Console. And what we will try to achieve there is that we will try to find which pages have the biggest potential to get improvements real quick. So let me move to the Google Search Console. This is Surfer's Google Search Console. Well, you can check in Ahrefs or SEMrush, the results will be really similar. So there's nothing I am disclosing here for real. So nothing to worry about it. So let's start with changing the time to 28 days to get it like really like recent, and we will focus on the blog because, well, I want to optimize my blog, so I will focus on the blog. So I will filter out by page. URL is containing the blog. All right. So we've got some pages listed by, they are sorted by clicks, but I don't want them to be sorted by clicks. I want them to be sorted by impressions, because the impressions is something that really make like it can be increased real quickly, and it can turn into clicks, because if I have a few clicks, well, there is not so much I can do there. But if I have 80,000 impressions for this particular blog, I can do much more in it. All right, I will also show the average position to see if it's close to getting there or not. Also, I will filter the position to be greater than 10. All right. This is pretty important filter because you skip keywords that that are already in the top 10. You won't be able to move the needle fast if you are already in the top 10. If you are at position 11, 20, 30, it will be much easier to do the jump instead of comparing to moving from 6 to 5, and it won't be impactful on this purple total impressions rate in the reports. So what we are trying to do right now is we are trying to find best blog posts with the highest number of impressions on Surfer SEO blog, and our goal will be to take 10 from here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10. So we got the 10 pages. I will take this one, the content score update, because I already checked it, and it has some great examples inside. So I'll show you the process based on this particular page. But your job now will be to copy the URL, put it in a spreadsheet, go back to the performance, click the URL, and take the queries. So right now we have to find the best queries we have in here. So skipping obviously position 1, we can sort by impressions, and we can allocate like 5 to 10 keywords from here that are quite close to the top 10. What is SEO score, for example, or on-page SEO? Maybe this is a bit too low, but what is SEO score? This is pretty dope keyword. I will definitely assign this keyword to the URL. I will put it in the column B. Maybe SEO score meaning. It will be another good one, 400. And probably will be easy as well. Let's go by the clicks again, because there's like a great example here. Content score checker. I will take it as well, because this page is about content score. This is the page, content score. What is it? How to use it for SEO? I'll put it here as well. You should put 5 to 10 of these keywords in a spreadsheet and move to the next URL. So you've got 5 to 10 keywords that are like sound interesting, that have decent impressions, and position ideally in a second page of Google, like or third. This one, SEO scoring, is pretty cool as well. This one, content scoring. Oh, this is great. One of the greatest, actually. I will take it as well. But I just wanted to show the idea of how these analyses can be performed. What we are trying to achieve here is to find URL that have a lot of impressions and its keywords that also have a lot of impressions that are ranking below top 10. If that's the case, if this keyword is ranking below top 10, we can move on to further analysis. Let's say I will keep only, like, I will just find 5. Content quality checker, position 37. Not bad. I will take it. Okay, so we've got the first URL. Obviously, you should analyze the 10 URLs, right? But I just don't want to do it right now. We can take like these. Let's say this one, just quickly. E-commerce SEO best practices, and again, queries, impressions, and position. And yeah, I copy the URL, I put it back in the spreadsheet. And what do we have here? E-commerce SEO best practices. SEO for e-commerce website, SEO for e-commerce. This one is the closest and has decent impressions. I will take it as the main focus, let's say here. But what's important is to check that you rank for a keyword, but if you have it in content, this is pretty important. And in this case, this keyword is not there. So I am ranking for e-commerce SEO best practices, yet I do not have it inside. And still ranking position 17.9. So this is one of the easiest wins you can have to check these keywords, like these keywords we have here, SEO content score checker, content score, boom, it's nothing. Yet the position is there. If you remember, it was around 20 or 30. So Google thinks that I'm ranking for a keyword. Google thinks that I am already pretty cool answer for that keyword. Yet I am not even mentioning that keyword on the page. So what should I do? Basically put that keyword to the article and watch the results. But let's go back to the presentation for a second, because I went off the schedule a little, but I couldn't resist myself. So we've got this potential analyzed. We've got URL sorted by impressions, so we know which of our blog posts are already the most visible, so they will respond great on our actions. We've got keywords assigned. So I assigned 5 keywords to the first article and only 1 keyword to the second, but I recommend you assigning 5 to 10. But well, I don't have that time right now to assign them. But I want you to know the logic behind it. Okay, so the second step, and this is a task, it's the entities gap. And again, we will go back to the spreadsheet and we will check e-commerce SEO best practices and we will Google it. And I believe I've got, where is this extension? Is it gone? I'm looking for SEO Quake, but I can't find it anymore. It should be there somewhere. I just updated the Chrome right before the webinar, so maybe that wasn't the best idea. But we've got the search results for the e-commerce SEO best practices. So what we have to do is we have to check if our content is close to what's in the top 10 already. And we have to figure out what are the words and phrases on their websites that are important there, yet we do not have them. And there are plenty of ways to do it. Of course, you can do it in Surfer, but I want to show you these DIY options. Of course, you can just open Surfer and create an audit. I will just show you in a moment. But I don't want to be too salesy. So what you can do is you can open the WebFX, for example, and open this SEO Quake. I don't know why I don't have it. I mean, it used to be there, but it's not there. So I will just quickly add it. This is super powerful extension. Um, okay, do I have it now? Yes, I do. All right. So we run the SEO Quake and you open the density report and you've got all of their keywords, right? All of the keywords. 2 words, 3 words, 4 words. And your goal is to take the list from SEO Quake and put it in the Excel. Then what you have to do is to repeat this process for another competitor like Privy, like Crazy Egg, like Shopify, like Neil Patel's, to find out these keywords for the other pages. And then you have to compare your page with these lists of keywords to see if you are not missing any of them. And obviously, it can be done in server, in audit, for example, like let's say roofing services. Go away, right? You got these terms to use, and this is basically it, and it's getting analyzed like this one is missing, this one is missing, this one is missing. So yeah, it can be automated with tools, it can be automated with server, but I'm trying to show you that you can do it on your own using free extensions like SEO Quake. You can get these keywords from their pages and then compare yourself with them, and that's the entity gap. Well, the slideshow is gone, but in general, like I said, entity gap is words and phrases they have in the top 10 that you don't. And how to fix it? You got this manual process, which is going through the SERP, fetching their content, and comparing these keywords with you. That's manual. It will work. We've been doing it this way, like for for really long when I was working in this agency, like a few years ago. We've been doing this manually and it was super effective, but it wasn't that 80/20 because that took too much time. Or you can have this automated process like I showed you with the surface audit, for example. So it pulls these common phrases, common entities of competitors and automatically check which ones you have or not. And this task, if it's done manually, will take you 30 to 45 minutes if manual, and probably a few minutes if automated. And then implementation of these missing terms will take another 30 minutes. But this way, your article that is already ranking pretty close to the top 10 will be not only getting closer in terms of rankings, but it will also get closer in terms of semantics. So it will touch the same topics, it will use similar keywords, the same keywords as they do. So it will be closer to the benchmark, which is our top 10 of competitors in the SERP. But we've got another one. This is way easier task, way easier, internal links. And we will use Google. We will use one of the most powerful algorithms that we can. It will be Google. So, and it is much simpler than the entities gap. So let's take a look. We will type site colon surferseo.com space e-commerce SEO. Boom. So what do we see? Oh, this SEO Quake is annoying here. Let me remove. Right. Okay. So going back here, site colon surferseo.com space e-commerce SEO. This is the keyword we have. Actually, the best practices. Let's be precise. That's the process. E-commerce SEO best practices. What's on the first? The first is the page that is ranking, right? This is the best page about e-commerce SEO we have. But we also have a blog post, SEO best practices in 2020. We've got on page and content creation tips. We've got how long does SEO take. We've got how to insert with the audit. We've got SEO writing in 2021. Well, a little bit outdated. But oh, and again, content marketing strategy for e-commerce business. And what is this list? This list is basically a list of URLs that are related to the e-commerce SEO best practices. And this list is created by the Google algorithm analyzing our website, in this case surferseo.com, and the number one is the one that is ranking. But if the number one was gone, the second will be ranking, and then the third will be ranking, and then the fourth. So these are the URLs ordered by the relevance to the main query. The query is e-commerce SEO best practices. So what do we have to do here? Is we have to basically use these second, third, fourth, fifth, up to 10 as internal linking sources, because there is no stronger internal link than the link from a page that is related to the keyword we want to boost. This is super easy. You just go to Google, site colon your domain space the keyword you want to boost. And the number one is the page that is ranking. Number two is the number one page to be linking internally to the number one page. So from best practices in 2022, we link to e-commerce SEO best practices for more traffic and sales. From on-page content creation SEO tips, we also link to the e-commerce SEO. From the fourth, how long does SEO take? We also link to e-commerce SEO. Do you get the idea? It's super easy. Of course, you can automate it as well, and obviously, we've got it here as well. It's automated the same way. So, well, some of them are already done, but some of them are not. But again, I don't want to be too salesy here. So you can replicate this whole process directly in Google. There's a keyword you want to boost, you just internally link from the pages that are like second, third, fourth, and so on. But let me go back to this. How to choose anchor texts. Boom, they are here. First, second, third, fourth, fifth anchor text, because we already allocated 5 keywords to this content score product update page. So we will be boosting. What is SEO score? SEO score meaning content score checker, content scoring, content quality checker. We will be boosting these 5 pages, these 5 keywords. So these are the anchors, the anchor texts that should be linking to this blog. So again, what is SEO score? I would do it this way. Just check. Boom. Number one is obviously the content score. And the second is docs. So we should link from docs. We should link from 10 things you can do in server. We should link from how to write and optimize in server's content editor. And these keywords here, I will highlight them in blue. These should be our anchor texts. That's it. There is no philosophy here. You Google your website, space the keyword you want to boost. These keywords, we created the list here in spreadsheet at the beginning, is a list of anchors, end of story. And it will be crazy increasing your rankings for not only these keywords, but also overall well, the trust, the overall quality will be boosted for this particular URL, because you will link from many related sources among your website. So going back to the slideshow. So we have the most important stuff. I touched it already at the very beginning. And again, let's move to the Google Search Console. So what if I find the keyword content score checker that I am already ranking relatively high and I don't use it on my page? I don't use it. I should just add it the end of the task. The end of the task. I have a keyword, I rank well, I don't use it in my content, and then I add it. This is the simplest SEO task you can have, yet one of the most effective I've ever seen. Simple. I know it's simple. I know it's kind of, you can be ashamed of using that simple method, but it works, and there is no point in being ashamed of it if it works. And imagine a situation that you land a new client. Let's go back to this slide we had. Uh, you got a new client and you get the Google Search Console access to prepare the initial audit before you accept the offer or send the offer, and you see that this website is missing so many keywords they rank for, and you are like, okay, I'm taking this client because I know there will be a huge opportunity for me to work very little to get huge, to deliver huge results for a client. Okay, but as you can see here, we need to go deeper. So we go deeper. We've got this entities gap. It may be a little bit time consuming if you don't have server. It is effective, but it can be time consuming, not only in gathering the data, but in implementing. Like you found 30 missing entities, and it will take a few moments to actually put them here and there. We got the second task, internal links. This is easy. So we just type in Google site colon the domain name space the keyword. We've got the list of potential candidates. So the only thing left to do is to check whether this page is already internally linked or not. If it is, we can adjust the anchor. If it is not, we can move to the next one. And then we have ranked but not used, which is the easiest, as we already have a list of URLs with their keywords assigned. So we just check if these keywords that are assigned exist on the page or not. If not, we add them. It's 5 to 10 keywords to add, so super easy. And let's put like a filter, 80-20 filter. So these tasks are already 80-20. I'm not touching technical audit. If page is indexed, that's okay. I'm not touching speed insights. I'm not touching link building. I'm not touching the structure. I'm just looking for low hanging fruits. These three things: entities gap, internal links, ranked but not used. And now I am doing 80-20 out of already 80-20 list of tasks, and take only ranked but not used because it is the simplest, the smallest, and the most effective element of this strategy. And I put it on top like this. So that will be the only thing I would do. And if it doesn't help, I will probably go with a few internal links and then wait to see what happens, and then maybe do some entities gap if it's still not helping. But instead of probably doing the other tasks, I will move to another URL, or I will move to another keyword that is again underserved by my articles. And it seems to be naive, easy. It seems to be too easy. But what's wrong with it if it works? And this is the conclusion of the slides of the presentation. Uh, well, just don't be afraid of doing simple things, and if they work, just repeat them over and over until it stops. But it won't. As you update your articles, Google Search Console will bring new keywords, so you'll have new keywords to look for, to check whether you use them or not. So it's like a self-perpetuating machine. The only push you give it is adding these few keywords here and there. So that's it from me. 820 in SEO. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michal. That was a really great presentation. A lot of to think about. When I was listening, I thought to myself that probably the biggest mistake I was making with my blog, I never paid too much attention to internal linking. So really nice presentation. Thank you for this one, Michal.
Do we have any questions?
We have some questions. Questions started to roll in, and once again, if you have any questions, this is your perfect time to ask, because as you saw it yourself, Michal is at SEO expert, so don't miss your chance. All right, so Michal, let's start with the first questions, and the very first question sounds like this: what do you think the most important part of on-site SEO is?
is to have a page, you know, is to have a page, is to have a target page. Because if you don't have a target page, then you will never rank for a keyword you are trying. So having a target page is a very first step, the most important part of on-site SEO.
Thank you for your answer. All right, once again, if you have any questions, just keep asking them because, all right, because right now we don't have too many questions, but as I can see right here, just a second, Michal. Just
Ricardo
a
has a
second.
great question. Yes, good
Ricardo,
one.
yes, yes, I just missed it for some reason. So here's the question. At this point, are we touching meta tags to implement the ranked but not used step?
We can, but I didn't intentionally. Why? Because you only have one meta title and its length is limited. So you won't be able to put two, three, four, five keywords inside, uh, and content itself will react pretty well if you add these missing ranked but not used keywords in the content. It should be enough. But obviously, if you can squeeze another keyword in the title, that would be great. So yeah, if you have space in title, do it. If don't, then you can rely on the content. Make sure to put these keywords. This is actually something I missed. Put them in prominent places. Don't try to put them in a footer really low on the page. Make them shine, make them glow, because Google already want you to like rank for, like they rank you for this keyword while you are not using it. So make a direct answer, put it in the H2 and answer that keyword that you are missing, and this way you also help the user. So someone is searching for that keyword and boom, he sees that keyword in H2 and got the answer and is really satisfied. So yeah, both tags and content.
Thank you, Michal. All right, another question. It sounds like this. Can you go over how to use Surfer SEO for the ranked but not used? Can you, Michal?
With pleasure, obviously. Thank you for that question, Commander Curtis. Uh, I would love to share my screen once again. And I got a pretty decent surprise for you because it's free. We've got like the product, and it has like a grow flow beta tool. This is basically doing the tasks I mentioned. So it's kind of chat. I can't, but surferseo.com/growflow free tool. This tool will give you a bunch of tasks that will give you these missing terms, give you internal links and missing entities just like this. So, but in Surfer, let me show you, because I've got a few grow flows already enrolled in here. Maybe for Surfer. Yeah. Keyword Surfer, search volume plugin, SEO Chrome extension. And what are we missing? Chrome SEO plugin, crazy. Or SEO Chrome extension. How the hell? But this is what we are missing. SEO plugin Chrome. So we are missing these keywords. Another one. This is the homepage. Well, yeah. SEO jobs, not really. SEO online, not really. SEMrush login, well, not really. So I'll probably dismiss it. But let's take a look at the audit, SEO audit. So on-page SEO audit, we are ranking for on-page SEO audit, but not using this keyword on the page. SEO analysis online, we are not SEO auditor, SEO audit, not used. So I can just grab these keywords, open the page, open the CMS and put them here and there on the landing page. And that will be the best spent 5 minutes. And when it comes to internal links, they're also there. So the same logic as you say when I was showing it to you, the manual process. So these are the best candidates that should be linking to Keyword Surfer. And what are these candidates? The keyword research in SEO, release note for keyword research, search volume plugin, and about the keyword density. So really related topics to the keyword research page. So this is how it's done at Server in the Grow Flow. So and you can have it for free. Just click the get access and you will get the first batch of tasks absolutely for free. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess we can move on to other questions. All right, just a second. Here's one. How can we prepare for Google algorithm updates? Is it possible to prepare for them?
Hmm, well, we do nothing and it works. Uh, just try to avoid shady techniques. That will be the safe bet, I would say. Like acquiring backlinks from weird sources or spamming with keywords, creating doorway pages, cloaking, these kind of things will prevent you, or stealing content, or like putting only AI crappy content on your website. These are like the causes, potential causes of ranking drops after the algorithm updates. But if you honestly write your content that is within your topical niche and you internally link in between the posts, you'll be safe.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, the next question is going to be the situation of Goliath and David, I guess, if that's the right expression. All right, so let's check it. How can I beat Wikipedia? My content is much better, but they often outrank me.
Try to be more precise with keywords targeting. Uh, because if you are targeting like really high search volume head tail keyword like SEO, for example, it will be hard. But if you will take something a little bit more niche, that can also be better in terms of like the traffic quality, because people who visit your website, let's say for on-page SEO tool than in general SEO, they will be like much better type of visitors to buy Surfer than people who visit them through the keyword SEO. And beating big players will be possible when you target keywords that they don't target, like they won't change their mind, but like you see their meta title, for example, and the keyword is not there, the keyword, the variation of the keyword that you are trying to pursue. So you can use this keyword in title, in h1, in url, and put a massive amount of internal links pointing to that page, and that can help a lot.
Thank you, thank you. All right, let's move on to the next one. And this one sounds like this. I have a question. Surfer SEO tool shows so much more word than any their competitors. It is really probably, do they really need so many words?
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. Well, not every single word is visible on the page, yet the robot is reading. So at Surfer, we analyze what Googlebot reads, not what you see in a first glance. And if robot has 3,000 words to read while you see 2,000, we suggest the amount that robot is really seeing. So that might be the impression that they have much less, but in fact, the content that counts is there. So that's the shortest explanation I can give.
Thank you, thank you. All right, let's move on to another one. All right, so one person says that his rankings dropped after the last Google update, and is there any way to recover rankings? Do you have any suggestions, tips, maybe?
Hmm. It's almost like uh, guessing. Uh, it's really hard to give advice if you don't see the website, if you don't see the scale of the drops. But like saying general advice, like make sure it's fast and it's or has original content and so on. Uh, these advices won't help you, so I would just skip this question because well, we need like to spend a little bit longer on that particular case to give advice.
All
Sorry.
right, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's move on to the next one. Which meta tag should we prioritize? It's Ricardo
Just make
again.
make sure the title has your keyword, and that's it. If you have more keywords, you can use variations in description, but the title is the one that you have to like use wisely and prioritize keywords and put the one that is the most important and put it in front. This is also important. When you have meta title, put the keyword at the front. Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, another question from Amir, but maybe I can rephrase it. He's asking, I use Hostinger to host my website. My website loads very fast, and he passed Core Web Vitals. My rankings are still dropping. So, Michal, do you think how important are Core Web Vitals?
Well, I can tell you from my experience, Surfer has really poor metrics there, and it still ranks. So in many niches, it won't be that significant yet. Where it may be significant is where people are impatient, is where people are really looking for information right now because it's raining, they need a taxi, and this is where they are really in a need of having a quick website. But if they are ahead of reading like essay about e-commerce SEO that will take them 30 minutes to read and another 30 to understand, there is no rush, and they will wait for the information, so it won't make that big impact. So consider whether you are within that rush keywords area or not. If you are, then web vitals will be important. If it's just best running shoes review, it won't be that important.
All right, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. All right, another question from Ricardo. It seems like he's on fire today. Should we implement all changes just in one shot, or should we implement in more than one shot, like once a month? What do you think?
Yeah, so with Surfer's Grow Flow, we have like every week tasks every week to not overwhelm the people implementing it, and sometimes maybe it may be enough to implement one batch of tasks, so you are not overworking yourself. But if you have time, I would say that implementing 5, 10, maybe 20 keywords to the article is a sweet spot, and then you have time, you move to the next article, you move to the next article, to the next article. So not every single keyword, like you have a list of 50 missing keywords and you add all the 50. I would probably avoid it. I would split it in 3 batches and probably work on 3 articles in a smaller batch than work on one to the very end. So that's my take.
Thank you. All right, let's move on. And we have another question, and it sounds like this. What do you do with keywords in that list, Michal, that may be tough to insert into an article?
Image alt. It's not that shady, you can use just the alt attribute to put the keyword that sounds awkward, let's say.
One of the oldest tricks in the book.
Still works.
Right, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see another question. And here it is. Are Surfer SEO briefs effective for all the countries or other countries that Surfer SEO doesn't support?
It's the right to left languages we struggle a little bit there, but other than that it works everywhere.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's move on. Is it smart idea to scrape frequently asked questions sections from Google and write an article based on the snippets?
Hmm, it depends. But it's a pretty cool tactic if you are fresh website. So let's say you have like uh, SEO audit process. You got this keyword, and you won't be able to rank for it because there are like really big players in the game. So what you do? You do not target this keyword, but you target directly the people also ask, and that's a good option. That's for sure. But if you already have the article about this SEO audit process, you may cannibalize it. So it will be tricky, but achievable to make sure that these articles targeting directly the PAA questions won't cannibalize the main article. And when the main article is already ranking somewhere 20, 30 or so, I would probably create FAQ section in that article, boost it with FAQ schema markup, and probably that will be enough or maybe even better. So for small players, you can create separate pages. If you already have some rankings for a main query that PAA shows up, uh, probably enrich the main article including this FAQ schema. That's it.
Thank you. All right, let's move on.
I
What
will
are
try
the
to keep my
best?
answers short. Sorry, so because I know we are running out of time.
Oh, no worries. I guess we still have a few minutes left. What are the best recommendations in terms of Surfer SEO brief?
Use it. Yeah, just kidding. But uh, I got one recommendation. Is that you can create a brief using multiple keywords. I can actually show you how. If you could turn my screen on, I will just quickly show it. I'll let me go to the content editor. So how to create multi-keyword analysis? You basically type like keyword one, then shift enter, keyword two, shift enter, keyword three, shift enter. It can be like your cluster in a content planner. You have clusters. uh, so the cluster looks like this, right? And the content editor created based on that cluster will include all of these keywords. And what it will change is that it will give you more people also ask questions script. I'm trying to find some that is already created, but I can't. So maybe I'll just wait here. uh, I'm not well prepared, sorry. Hiking with kids, maybe. Oh yeah, I got here something. So I've got the content editor, so I will just open it, and it will analyze all of these keywords, which gives us a little bit more information. And when you go to the outline, you will find that there are so many questions scraped that you are able to create much better article, and you can understand what do they really want from you in terms of best backpacking trip with kids. Is it about 3 year olds or 3 months old or 1 year old or a toddler, or like really you can understand uh, what they may want from you. So that's my trick. Use multiple keywords here. All right.
Thank you, thank you. All right, questions just keep rolling in. I hope, Michal, you still have some time to answer some of the questions.
Can we make a little interruption, because I have some free stuff for the people still watching us. So can I
Absolutely.
share something? So let me share screen for a second more, because we have on the Surfers here we have this learn, and besides of the Surfers Academy, just like Hostingers Academy, we've got the SEO Writing Masterclass, and this is a free course that we recorded, and it's great for like planning, creating, writing, auditing, optimizing, and making sure the content ranks. It's really a great course, and it ends up with a certification you can get, and it will also allow you to buy Surfer with really like I guess it's $1 after you take the course. So I totally recommend you taking the course, because it's like a full of knowledge, and the at the end you also get a chance to try Surfer like for free. So go check it out. It's great content there, and it's free. So that's my interruption. Sorry about that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Michal. All right, I guess we can go back to the questions because they just keep rolling in, you know. Just a second. All right, here's the question. How do press release links work in today's SEO environment?
Hmm. Some people claim it works great. Some people claim it's a scam, but I would say it will be all depending on the provider of these PR campaigns, because some PR campaigns will be faking the results, dead. Dead magazines, or just fetched domains with like poorly rebuilt content on them, and we got a great PR release. It has like 1000 magazines, but they're all like dead. So it will be all about the right provider, and if you can have a right provider, it can move the excuse me, it can move the needle for sure. But I won't recommend any, if that's the another question.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Ricardo, once more. All right, so here's the question. How should we work with customers that have similar content to avoid be penalized by Google?
Mm, Customers that have similar content to who? Similar content to the other competitors, I guess. Maybe it's because of e-commerce pages that have the duplicate content from like the factory uh, um, description or something. Um, you just have to provide as much unique original stuff as you can, and you won't be penalized for having the same picture of a shoe or same short description of a of headphones on your e-commerce. What you have to do instead is to focus on category descriptions, on blog posts, on unique reviews and stuff, and they will outweigh the similar or the duplicate content, so you won't get penalized.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so here's another question. It's sometimes it's crazy, we do not get any questions at all, and today we are getting so many questions. So wow.
That's really
All right.
pleasing, you know.
Yeah. All right, so here's the next one. How long should I wait before doing page optimization? I changed one of the pages I want to rank a month ago, but I don't see any gains. Should I wait more or do some changes already?
JJ Jones, do you know if Googlebot already visited the page? Because that'll be crucial information. Oh, by the way, I think server provider can help people with some logs if the Googlebot is visiting or not. What's your take? Because if we know that the Googlebot was there, it will be super helpful to see whether the optimization was just successful or unsuccessful, or not seen by the robot. And if you don't have the server logs, you can always change meta title a little bit and then Google your page. And if you see the changed meta title, it means that Googlebot was there and indexed the new meta title. That's kind of like a manual check if the page was indexed. So again, if the page was indexed, re-indexed, then your optimization was not the most successful, and you should probably try different angle. Maybe check user intent, maybe check what else they have that you don't. But if the page wasn't visited by the Googlebot yet, uh, just wait. Maybe build some internal links from the pages that were visited, so Google will find it eventually.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move on to another question. I hope you still have some time, Michal.
Yes, yes. I just ran
Uh,
out of water, but that's the only thing.
All right, here's the question. So first of all, hey Michal, thanks for doing this. What would you suggest for an already optimized article sitting on the bottom of the page, first or second? I know links can help, but sometimes it's not always the case.
Internal links. You will never over optimize internal links, and if it is the page that you really uh, pay attention to, that you really want to improve, you should send as many internal links as possible from quality pages within your domain, and not only quality in terms of content but also quality in terms of backlinks these pages get, so you can redistribute some of the link juice through these internal links. But that will only work if you really want this page to go up, because you will spend some internal resources, as the link juice will be redistributed, so it will be there, not somewhere else. So just be aware that you can't boost every single URL on your page this way. But if that's the one you really want, then go for it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Hopefully, I'll answer your question. All right, let's move on to another one. And this one sounds like this. What are some tips in creating backlinks? I use SEMrush link building tool, but I feel that it is not that helpful. Do you have any tips, suggestions, maybe?
Hmm. Well, there are so many types
At,
of link building, you know.
at least one. Could you share one?
Mhm. Yeah. Link intersection from your competitors. So I would try to spot like 5 domains that are competing with you, then check backlinks they have, then check common backlinks they have. So backlinks, like, well, the domains that are linking to all of your competitors, for example. And if you find such a domain, then it may be a sign that it will be relatively easy to acquire backlink from there, because if they're linking to 5 of your competitors, they may be also linking to you, but they don't know you, for example. So uh, that's my tip. Link intersection.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, here's a very interesting question. Looking good. Where did you get that tank top?
As you can see, it's branded.
You can
we
get it
we
at
were
Surfer.
that was a limited series, and we've been on the company gathering last week, and everyone, literally everyone, asked where did I get it, and I didn't know because we received these on the previous company gathering. So I guess it's time to well, uh, find out these emails, where did they come from.
All right, thank you. All right, here's another question, this time a bit different. What do you recommend for a blog article? Try to target the snippet with an H2 and answer below it, or and link to the section with JSON. JSON.
I guess JSON is about the structured data, so definitely go for it. So like you got this FAQ schema markup, it can be in either JSON or the other one, the old one. So you create like and you know what's pretty cool as well, to create this H2 to be an anchor. So Google can directly scroll to that section. So it's not like, it's like a clickable, like from table of contents, like a clickable heading. It has this hashtagged URL at the end, so someone can grab that hashtagged URL and, let's say, share direct answer to the direct question within your article. So I would add to H2 and answer below, and the schema markup with JSON and the anchor on the H2, and you will have like a complete set of uh, easy tips on how to get it.
Thank you, thank you. All right, here's another one. It's two in one. Love for a surfer, and the question. I have a ton of audit credits and I have already
Oh,
audited all my pages currently. What are some other creative uses of the audit tool? Love Surfer.
thank you. You should audit your pages every few months, I would say every quarter or every algorithm update. That's just a side note. But the creative way of using these is to prospect clients. Imagine a situation that uh, someone is asking you for the offer, and you are running a simple audit and send them over the results and tell them that, okay, here is what we have to do. You can white label it, you can rewrite it on your own, and uh, it will be a huge advantage. In a first touch with a client, you spend 5 minutes on generating that audit, and they already get value from you, so they will very likely uh, hire you later. And we've been using the audit to prospecting a lot.
Thank you for the answer. And let's move on. And here's another question. What should we pay attention to when we're doing keyword research? I care about keyword difficulty and volume. Do you have any other suggestions?
I care about the topical authority. I care about covering the whole segment instead of a little bit from here, a little bit from there, maybe some marketing, maybe some email, maybe some SEO, maybe some ads. No. If you're SEO, go for SEO topics. If you're marketing, go for marketing topics. And if you have surfer, just create a content planner, and you will have like 100 ideas of the blog post that you should have to become a trustworthy source of information about the topic. So that's basically it. Create cluster and cover the whole cluster, and then move on, not jump on the topics.
All right, thank you. Here's another very interesting question. And this it sounds like this. Is there a future for AI generated content? Should it be used over a content written by a person? What do you think?
No way. I mean, maybe sometime in the future. I don't know the future, but so far, it's more like the outline. So you get like you can create outline and a short paragraph under each heading, and it will be a great start for the writer. So the writer will have like somewhat research done, and if some words already, and will be probably easier to start. It can help with the writer's block, so you don't know what to do next. You ask the AI, and it can help you. Uh, and obviously, it can help you build content for PBNs and tier 2 websites. So those that people won't see, but the Googlebot will see and evaluate. So it will be super helpful for this kind of websites, but for like legitimate landing pages, no chance that AI will take over. It will amplify the writers. It will do the boring job, and the writer will adjust the tone of voice, will adjust the temperature, will adjust the CTAs and the message that is behind. So yeah, I hope it
Thank
answers
you.
a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on to another one. All right, this question is a bit for us. Uh, Shocker is asking, Hosting Academy, will there be any content increasing website traffic? You could say this webinar is about increasing traffic, actually. And yes, in the future, we will make more content with tips how you can increase traffic to your website. So thank you for asking this. And let's move on to another question. All right, just a
This
few
is a great
questions left.
question.
All right. So I used Content Planner for a local business, Tuscon, and some of the clusters came back for other areas, Jacksonville, Phoenix, Oregon. What should I do with those since they are not in the right area?
Well, if they appear for searching in Tucson, it turns out that companies that are ranking in Tucson are ranking in Phoenix, Jacksonville, and Oregon as well. It means that either these companies are bigger, serving bigger area, or maybe they are some kind of directories listing, let's say, roofers in Tucson, Phoenix, Oregon, and Jacksonville. But you can definitely skip them if you are not sure if they fit your business. Let's say your plumber won't go outside Tucson, so just skip them. It will be like, just move on to the next one that makes sense to you, 80/20, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just a second. Let's move on to the questions. All right. So, all right. Someone asked for a coupon code Hostinger. Of course, we will give you one. Just a second, I will show you what code you can use to get 10% discount.
Sorry, I
Bless
didn't
you,
manage.
Mohammed.
I didn't manage to mute. Thanks.
You can use this code to get 10% discount off your web hosting. Thank you. Thank you for asking this question. All right, let's go back to questions. And I guess we have just a few questions left. And
Isn't the
here's the
last
question.
one?
It is the last one, actually. All right,
Woohoo!
so here's the question. Why is GrowFlow telling me to link to an article from archive pages?
Because these archive pages are still in index, and these archive pages are considered as important by Google. That's the only reason. So like I showed you, cite colon the keyword and the list of relevant pages to that keyword. It turns out that your archive pages are on that list. Google value them. So maybe consider taking them out of the archive. Don't make them orphan pages, and actually put a link. If no one is reading, if it's archive, you will only boost the page from that archive page. That would be a great use of archived page, actually. So yeah.
All right, so this was the last question, and I guess let's thank Michal for amazing presentation for answering all our questions, and it was really nice to have you here. And I just want to remind to our audience that if you missed some part, you can always rewatch it because the recording of this full webinar can be found on our YouTube channel, Hosting Academy. So let's thank once more for Michal. It's really great.
Thank you so much.
I'm always happy to hear what experts have to say. So this is it. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for joining us, and I believe we will see you in another webinar. It's going to be after 2 weeks on the 28th of July. So see you soon. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye bye.